This is Saman Mudley with the Data Mindset Podcast. I interview industry leaders with a data-driven mindset who share insights around data strategy. Today, I'm speaking with Farhad. Thank you for joining us on the show and welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Can you share a little bit about your background and some industries that you may have touched?
Throughout my career, I have worked within the digital economy, business acquisition and development, implementation of strategical goal and initiatives within different organizations. My focus has been on IT, AI, IoT, machine learning, as well as a data ownership and legal and regulatory bodies that will encompass that. So that's something that a lot of the small businesses and a lot of organizations are coming into contact with for the first time. And it's very, very important to have that information out for them. Throughout my career with International Data Center Authority, we worked with Fortune 500 companies into implementation of universal data center standards. That allowed me to work with organizations such as Apple, Amazon, LinkedIn, Max Stadium, Digital Realty, and so forth in training them and establishing those data center standards. And then as a part of giving back to community, I work as an executive coach as well, bringing some of those information to youth within the community organizations, as well as small businesses. I have touched any sector of business from hospitality all the way to cloud management on an international level. So that gave me a lot of good opportunities to work with amazing individuals and leaders within the industry.
Well, thank you for that really insightful background. I wonder if you have any time to sleep, because that's quite a lot that you're busy with. I think the community is quite appreciative that you're dedicating so much of your time. But tell me, in your opinion, how are companies using data today? And, especially considering the pandemic, what are some of these trends that you're seeing regarding data that's coming up?
So the trend was for a lot of the companies to move towards digital economy and digitalize their whole operation. But this pandemic just pushed everything a little bit time frame wise. So a lot of the corporations are struggling on exactly how to utilize the data that they have and how they can distribute it within their organization, who can have access with it, and what needs to be done. Now, it is very, very important, especially now, that we have that available data for all of the players within the organization and have that increased visibility of those data, because everyone looks at the data on a different level. And as far as if the corporation is trying to be innovative, then they need to change that hierarchy of, okay, I'm going to talk to my manager and I'm going to go talk to that executive and make it a flat organization, allowing that data to flow in order for the decisions to be made easier. Decisions may be more productive and insightful as well. And it allows everyone to fix the mistakes before it goes all the way up to the hierarchy for the decision making.
What role does high quality data and integrity of the data play in decision making?
So now these days we pretty much make majority of our decisions based on data more than ever. The data comes from different aspects, comes from the customer satisfaction surveys that we do, it comes from the financial aspect. So just to mention just a couple of them. And humans have a lot of impact within those data sets created and utilized with organizations. And consciously or subconsciously, human beings are biased. Therefore, that bias goes within the data. And then we put that data set within a machine learning. Therefore, we're just reinforcing that bias within our system. So the integrity of the data is very, very important. Knowing and being positively sure that the data set that you have is as accurate as it possibly can get. And that's when utilizing it through the organization becomes necessary. Why? Because humans make mistakes. I don't see it. I look at it differently. You don't see it. you look at it differently, and then you see a point that will save my corporation at the end of the day. So it is very important for the data to be secure, especially that we utilize a lot of our customer data. There's a lot of issues legislatively on who actually owns the data when it comes to like healthcare or any other organization. My Amazon account knows me a lot better than I know myself probably. So how is that being utilized? So the legality of the issue has never been resolved, and we have a lot more individuals now online from elementary school all the way up that's going to be exposed to the internet and will be exposed to putting their data out. Now, how can we make sure that these data sets are integrable? We should receive data sets from multiple directions, and we should go ahead and compare those data sets together and run some tests and make adjustments. I'm not going to name the company, but about a year ago, a glitch within the program of a credit card approval resulted in female approval being significantly lower than male approval. And that was a bias that was, it was probably a mistake, but it was there. Now, something like that can be detrimental. Now, the organization was huge, they could recover. But if it was a small organization, then it would definitely cause a lot of issues. So the data source is very, very important, no matter role or organized, and they need to independently or collaboratively be reviewed by multiple executives and experts in order to ensure the integrity of the data.
What are some of the things that smaller businesses should be looking at in terms of their data and utilization? Perhaps you want to share some of that.
Of course. So as we're obviously moving and push the digital economy a lot faster than we thought we would be there. Even 5G is not fully developed. The edge facilities are not even up and running. And majority of mom and pop shops and small businesses who actually run the full economy are not really used to it. Their online platforms are not there. Their data security is not there. They don't really have a CRM system that's functional. And especially now, they do not have the resources to put in there as well. So who's helping those individuals? Who's actually reaching out to them to make sure that they do have that voice within the legislative and legal levels as well? I work very, very closely with the National Small Business Association in the United States. I'm a part of their technical standard committee as well as their leadership community. So what I try to do, and this is something that I try to do as much as possible pro bono, just because that gives me the excitement and the energy that I need. So I work a lot with them in development of online business strategies and taking their business now that it is online from that street corner business to an international market as well. That exposure will be something that they have not been provided that opportunity to touch. And then, of course, how can they adjust their business? So if they're going online, do they really need to shop and pay the rent? So therefore, taking a look at their P&L, adjusting some of the funds and redirecting them in a different manner in order to bring more revenue to that specific business. And right now, I'm helping a lot on the legality of COVID and not being able to get the loans. And I'm home, and obviously, my requirements of travel has been lessened a lot. So it gives me a lot of opportunity to sit down and read a couple of contracts and hopefully help a few individuals.
So I appreciate your time today. Thank you for being an absolute amazing guest on the show. How can people connect with you if they request to do so?
They can go ahead and reach me out through my website, farhadmehraban.com. I am available on LinkedIn as well.
Thank you so much for being an absolute amazing guest.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
This is Suman Mudley with the Data Mindset Podcast. To develop your data mindset and gain data insights, connect with me on LinkedIn.